If you're overwhelmed, frustrated, and sick and tired of the clutter in your life, maybe it's time to do something about it. In this podcast, the most organized man in America, Andrew Mellen, demystifies how to organize your world. Andrew gives you the keys to stop clutter from robbing you of your precious time, freedom, and joy in your life. Here's your host, Andrew Mellen.
Welcome to Declutter Your Life. I'm your host, Andrew Mellen.
Have you misplaced your keys since assigning them a home? How about your cell phone? Do you see how something so simple can so powerfully impact your life? The average person will waste 1 year of their life looking for lost and misplaced items. Let's let that really sink in. An entire year of your life wasted. Now let's be clear. No one is going to spend an entire year of their life looking for their lost phone or their keys or their wallet. You'll replace it after a day or two. Even the most frugal of us, after a few days without your mobile phone, will go out and get a new mobile phone. So I call this nickel and diming ourselves out of a year of our life because it's 5 minutes here, it's 10 minutes there, and you'll tell yourself in all earnestness that you're going to make up that lost time. But let's get really clear. You can't make up lost time. Once that time's been spent, it's gone. Gone forever. Now, you can bank money, but you can't bank time. You can tell yourself, oh, I'm going to get up extra early tomorrow morning, but let's again be clear. It's 2:30 in the morning for everybody in your time zone. It's not 2:30 for you and 3 o'clock for everybody else. You don't get a competitive advantage or extra time just because you want it. We're all working with the same 24 hours a day, every day. 168 hours in a week, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour. This is the math that we're talking about. Any other math than that, bad math. So, if you rely on that story about making up lost time to get you out of repeated jams or pickles, and I love that we call sticky or spicy unpleasant situations by food names. Language is tremendously powerful in shaping our reality. Never underestimate the power of how you are speaking to yourself and others. Nothing you say is insignificant. With that in mind, we're going to talk about the second leg of the organizational triangle, like with like. Understand that these first two legs of the triangle, one home for everything and like with like, are the tools that we use to get organized. Anyone can get organized. And I mean anyone. No one is born organized. That's a lie. There is no organized or organizing gene. It's a learned behavior like tying your shoes or telling time. So if you've got another story that says you're different, that you can't get organized, I'm going to tell you that you're lying to yourself. I'm going to say it with love, and I'm still saying it. We'll talk about the 200 lies we tell every day on a future episode. For now, let's just stay focused on the fact that in believing that story that says you can't get organized, that you are creating a mental obstacle that only compounds the very real physical obstacle or obstacles that are likely standing between you and happiness, between you and mobility. If you dismiss organization as something unnecessary or overly fussy, or if you like to throw around and misinterpret that Ralph Waldo Emerson quote about consistency being the hobgoblin of little minds, here's the full quote for you. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. With consistency, a great soul has simply nothing to do. He may as well concern himself with his shadow on the wall. Speak what you think now in hard words, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it contradict everything you said today. Ah, so you shall be sure to be misunderstood. Is it so bad then to be misunderstood? Pythagoras was misunderstood, and Socrates, and Jesus, and Luther, and Copernicus, and Galileo, and Newton, and every pure and wise spirit that ever took flesh. To be great is to be misunderstood. So, like with like. That means that all like objects live together. Not some, not most, all of them. So, all of your tools live together, all of your office supplies live together, all of your sweaters live together, all of your shoes live together, all of your socks live together, all of your underwear lives together. All of your cooking utensils live together. They're not mixed in with your serving utensils. Now, this is a great principle when it comes to stuff, to inanimate objects. It's not so useful when it comes to people, right? Like with like works great in the kitchen. It works great in your garage. It works great in your basement. Not so great when it comes to human beings. Starting with the first ghetto in Venice in 1516, segregating people into like with like categories has never been a really good idea. Using poverty or race or ability or orientation or gender to group human beings together against their will is not going to get us closer to one nation under God or universal consciousness or whatever you want to call the unknowable something that seems to bind us together. Unlike ghettos or concentration camps, your silverware drawer does like forced segregation. It benefits from limiting the items that live in it. It makes it easier to find things that way. So, if you apply the first two legs of the organizational triangle consistently, you will get organized. And once you get organized, you can start organizing others. And I don't mean in a bossy know-it-all way. You can leave that to me. I mean helping your family and your neighbors get out to the polls, to the school board meetings where they are deciding which books your kids are going to be reading and not reading, to the city council where they're deciding which neighborhoods will benefit from development and which neighborhoods will be overlooked and underserved, to the state capitol where they will decide what kind of social programs will be funded and which ones will be dismantled, and to the nation's capital where they are making plans that will affect not only you and I, but generations to come, where they seem hell-bent on destroying 70-plus years of progress on civil and social rights, where they talk about draining the swamp and yet seem more focused on rezoning the swamp and building luxury high-rises there dripping in gold, where they meet in secret behind closed doors and plot to take away your health insurance. That kind of bullshit has to stop. Instead of working diligently to figure out how not only no child will be left behind, but no person will be left behind, they brazenly and openly talk about disenfranchising millions of Americans as if that's appropriate or even legal. So if you don't want to see these horrible, despicable people tear apart everything the rest of us have worked so hard for, get your shit together. Know where your stuff is. Live within your means so you don't need to spend a minute more than you have to working to earn a living, and you can spend that time doing something else, like defending your rights and your neighbor's rights before they try to take them away. We're going to talk about staying organized in a future episode. We'll just take this one step at a time. For today, let's start to pay attention to how we're talking to ourselves about what's going on around us, at home and in politics. Let's know where our stuff is. Let's put like with like at home so we can make sure they never put like with like into another policy again. Our country is depending on you to step up. As a citizen, it's your right and responsibility to show up and participate. Let's make sure you can do that without being distracted by clutter and disorganization. Until next time, remember, more love, less stuff.
So that's it for today's episode. Be sure to join us here for other episodes of Declutter Your Life. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Mellen. I'll look forward to being with you again real soon.
That's it for today's episode. Head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. One lucky person every single week that posts a review on iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 private VIP day with Andrew Mellen himself. Be sure to go to declutteryourlifeshow.com and pick up a free copy of Andrew's gift. And join us on the next episodes.